Good evening, everyone. This is HeroesHype Amateur Series number 93, the long-term mainstay of the North American amateur scene. My name is Lauren. It's my pleasure to be joined by the Foxhunt, the Kitchen Heroes, the community coach, neighborhood-friendly Kalamaka. Good sir, how are you this evening?
Ooh, I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Well, last I checked, it's Wednesday, my dude. So
Sure
pretty
is.
good, pretty good. We got what is set to be a really fun evening ahead of us. 11 teams from North America have signed up to sharpen their claws for the upcoming year. Open division and things like that showing up. So what better place to get that practice in, get that tournament feel, deal with brackets and things like that, and where it all started in a lot of ways. HeroesHype Amateur Series.
Ain't that the truth? You know, lots of players going from the amateur, the open division and amateur series, eventually going into the open division, who make their way into the HGC. So this is the starting ground for everybody, as you well know, and a lot of people that tune in know. So it's always exciting to see people come from amateur tournaments and move their way up. So definitely is a place to sharpen their claws.
Absolutely. Kyle, we've heard from our good old-fashioned argue. Our first game is going to be PrideStark Gaming versus TSM. Big shout out to them for showing up. Give some shout outs to the other teams. Fratris, we've seen them before. Moto, NA Low, Oh My Science, RHT Random Hots team, Stormborn, TMG Red, and Kyle, I've saved this one for you. You ready?
Yep.
Do you know the way?
I do not, but perhaps they do, so I'm excited to see them.
They will show us. We might get to see them. I'm excited to see that lineup. Donna, the Mim is on that team. The Ebro, winners of last year's Heroes of the Dorm. No slouches by any stretch of the imagination. They know what they're doing. They know how to play that video game. So I'm excited to see if they got the show.
Well, let's go. Let's go.
But PrideStark Gaming and TSM, I don't think we've seen these lineups as they presently exist. Coming off an amazing year of 2017, there's always going to be some roster shakeups and things like that. So new synergies, new lineups, new rosters. It makes for a very exciting time for competitive heroes.
TSM, I didn't know that Team Solo Mid sponsored the amateur teams. Or
Getting in. I'm not the pleasure of seeing them. It wouldn't be, you know, casting HeroesHype. Like, this stuff just happens. It's living again. We're back. All right, cool.
that actually just made my night, I think. That was the best thing I've ever experienced. Yeah.
Did I sound like a robot or something?
You were like, do you know the way? And then it was like, blah, 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 and everything just started distorting. And I was like, I don't know the way, man. I don't know the way. Show me the way.
Look, dude, I printed out the MapQuest directions. We got everything right here. It's gonna be neat.
Wait, that's so
But
good.
yeah, PrideStark Gaming features Elheim, formerly of Donkeys R Us, the number 3 seed, I suppose you could say, from last year's Open Division. Strong pedigree there, to say the very least. TSM, a newer lineup to my belief, but I'm sure they're gonna put up quite the fight. Oh, Mr. Destructo in the chat, huh? You know what I'm really excited to see though, Colin?
What's that?
I want to see. I'm actually more interested in seeing Alex Straza over Hanzo.
Really? Why is that?
I don't get to play support too often, but I really enjoy Alex Straza's style of play. She's active. She has playmaking potential. The dragon comes out. You embiggen yourself.
Embiggen.
In that new game, Hero Storm, it's never too shabby. But, you know, there's tons of playmaking potential with Hanzo as well. I think we could definitely see the Shimada Bros show up here tonight.
I think so too. I like Hanzo over Alex Straza just because, I don't know, I like watching a really good player play Hanzo. Like the amount of damage that Hanzo can put out, and like you said, the playmaking abilities of Hanzo is just so cool when you watch a strong user with that hero. And I just also love the things that Hanzo can do in team fights, you know, such as bring a stun to interrupt huge heroics like Sanctification and stuff like that. So, like I said, in the hands of a really good player, Hanzo can do some really, really cool stuff. So,
yeah, he's one of those heroes where, like, when he dumpsters your whole team, you're just kind of like, I can't even be that mad. No. Like, that was pretty impressive. And I'm the one waiting to respawn. Definitely looking forward to seeing some of that high-level technical play. I feel like this is also going to be an interesting night because this is our first time, in a lot of ways, seeing what the 2018 gameplay changes are going to bring to the table. A lot of teams have had to transition and deal with the changes, and now we had the patch that came out that's up the damage of some of the structures. So even that newly forming meta that once was is going to see some alteration. So we're going to get a chance to see a lot of versatility and the ability to adapt out of these teams.
Considering that, I do think that we're going to see some pretty fast-paced games and some pretty snowball-y games because naturally, as the meta changes up and as patches hit, especially major ones like the most recent one, you're going to see teams kind of learning to adapt and stuff like that. And I wouldn't assume that these teams have had as much practice in a scrim environment as, say, like pro HGC teams. And even like I can speak from experience that it does take a number of games and a number of hours in order to really wrap your head around how this meta works. So like I said, I do think we're going to see some really fast action-packed games this evening.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those times in competitive heroes where if your team has the strategy and tactics well in advance of your opponent, the mechanical skill and everything is always going to be important, but if you just understand the meta, the macro play, and things like that, you're just going to be able to run circles around your opponent. So we're going to see a lot of opportunities for teams to show their mental prowess in understanding competitive Heroes of the Storm and getting an edge on their opponents that way. So we could definitely see some fireworks. You know what else I'm looking forward to, Kyla?
What's that?
Casting with you, man. I miss casting. This is going to be fun.
Dang, sets me. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, no, dude, I am so excited about that. Always an absolute pleasure to cast alongside you. So yeah, thanks for having me here, HeroesHype.
I want to see Volskaya too.
Oh yeah, I don't know how I feel about Volskaya. You know, I'm usually like overwhelmingly positive about most things, but I really I don't know how I feel about the map. It seems like there's nothing to take on the map aside from the main objective. It's so huge that it's difficult to really generate any serious pressure because there is only one camp that pushes across the map, right? There's the top camp, the siege camp there. So like, it is really difficult to generate pressure against your teammates. It feels like the only time action happens on that map is during the basically during the protector phase. So maybe some of these teams have figured out some alternate strategies. Maybe we'll see some stuff that just ignores it, like like a Lost Vikings comps or like, global comps or maybe even a Sylvanas or something like that. So
Asmodee.
Yeah, or Asmodee. There you go. Yeah. One of my favorites, as you know.
Yeah. Speaking of macro siege kind of heroes, this weekend, Kyle is finally done. Kyle has finally seen Die Hard. And those of you who follow along during HeroesHype Tempo Storm series, we had an agreement. Once he sees Die Hard, the Christmas movie that it is, and I don't want to argue about nothing, by the way. I would play Abathur. I have literally never played a single game of Abathur. I don't even own the hero. So watching me flounder with that is going to be odd.
Oh, you also said you were going to cosplay him, I thought.
Yeah, no.
Dang, thought I had him, you guys. Thought I had him. But at least you're going to play him. And to make it easier, I can totally play alongside you. I can be the gray main for you. I can be your Zeratul. I can be your hero, baby. And I can tell you how to play him a little bit. Yeah. I can give you some pointers on how to play him as we're playing him. And I really think you'll have a great time. Abathur is one of my favorite heroes. I actually have him on my hero screen right now.
Man, it's going to be neat. Again, we've heard from our good old-fashioned Argy. Pride's banned out Battlefield of Eternity. TSM didn't want to see Tomb of the Spider Queen. I don't know if we've selected a map just yet, but the time-honored tradition of Argy just, you know, trolling us with the map selection and the drum roll and dragging everything out. You know, Kala?
What's up?
It's Argy, man, you know?
Yeah, you know, they just don't make them like that anymore.
They don't make them like that guy anymore. They don't make them like that anymore. I don't know. I see him typing right now, and then he stops, and he starts going again. He knows what he's doing. He knows what's up.
Oh, he'll tell us. He'll give us the info.
And yeah, Flag 5's going to be there. That's going to be fun. Pajama Thur, I think I don't know. I'll get the skin. Don't worry about it. We're going to have Pajama Thur. I couldn't do like the normal one. You got to have the pajamas, right?
Yeah, it's either pajamas or the master, like the old master skin. That's the hot right there. Or the new skin that comes out soon. Ooh.
I don't even know what it is.
Fun. Oh, it's just like a gnarly kind of like cyborg version of Abathur. He looks really sweet.
Cyber Abathur, nice. Argy's let us know, and this is a quote for him, Colin. Do you know the way?
I do not know the way
to our selected map. Infernal Shrines. So we're
right on.
Getting into the lobby right meow.
Hey, this is maybe a map where we'll see the hero you want to see. It's a good Alex map.
Yeah. I think there's something of an argument to be made for Hanzo here as well. Kind of in general. He's just like a really strong hero across the board in a lot of respects. But while we're getting everything set up, a huge thank you first to the viewers for showing up. As eager as we are to see 2018 have some very exciting competitive play. But also thank you to the production staff. Vibins is holding down the production. Argy's going to be doing the obs to make our lives easy, Kala. And a huge thanks to all the admins and folks behind the scenes at HeroesHype. Without you, none of this would be possible. So thank you very much. Continue to do what you do.
You guys are fantastic, by the way.
Fantastico. Fantastico. Perfect. In the lobby, someone's like, team looks good. Start. Wait, no. Only one of the teams are in here. So. Vibins is about the 1v5, I guess. Oh, no. The dream is dead.
While we're waiting, have you played any of the Resident Firebat, Monsieur Blaze?
As it happens, good sir, I have. And I enjoy that hero quite a bit. I think he's, in a lot of ways, the archetype of what new heroes should be. Yep. He feels to me like a hero that's well balanced as far as numbers go. And you get a sense like, if I play this hero really well, I'm going to be able to make a difference for my team. You'll be able to show your expertise over using that hero in a way that like you can't do that with like Raynor. It's like, all right, you position well. You know? Yeah. He just feels fun to play. I like him.
Glad you enjoy him. Do you think he's going to have competitive viability? Do you think he's just going to be good in Hero League? Any thoughts on him?
I'm not sure, actually. Argy says, oh, Choo Choo Train comes through with the 8-month resub? Don't use the Hal Naz emote. That's all I ask. If you do, just give me a warning. But, well, your teammate and compatriot Caterpillar doesn't seem to think too much of Blaze. I was watching his stream earlier, and he posed a strong argument for why there could be some skepticism about him on the competitive level. But HeroesHype Esports, his own Ishboom, seems to think he'll do pretty well. So I don't know. I think he'll be somewhat situational. Yeah. I think Blaze is going to introduce the concept of the counter engagement. I think for a long time, the competitive heroes meta is like, all right, we're going to do this blow up comp. We're going to blow somebody up. They're going to be off the map. They're going to be gone. And it'll be cool.
Yep.
But Blaze is that kind of hero. It's like, I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I think if you create a team that can handle an initial amount of burst, Blaze is probably the best hero in the game to respond after that initial engagement.
Okay. Fair enough. And he is disabled, right, for this tournament, obviously?
He is, yeah. Unfortunately.
That's okay. Like... How about the mouth changes? Have you had an opportunity to play him? I personally love the Malfurion changes, but...
Mouth, what, 6.0? I haven't had a chance to try him just yet. I saw him in a couple of PTR games. Already played the PTR game with me, and Keeping It Kappa, Donna the Mim, played Malfurion, and still managed to cap highest hero damage out of everybody over actual assassins. So I think we're going to see some Malfurion tonight, personally.
That's pretty OP, honestly. Yep. Yeah, I think he's definitely going to actually show an increase in value in general, just the way his kit works. Like, regardless of, actually, no. Regarding his changes, I would say he's going to be more valuable afterwards. Even though he lost, like, some wave clear potential, it's just the fact that they gave, like, a pseudo cleanse back to Malfurion and just increased the strength of his, like, healing longevity. I love that. Like, I don't know, he just feels so much more like that's how he was meant to be played. You know what I mean? I feel like they really nailed the changes, that's for sure. I'm absolutely in love with them.
Yeah, it embraces that more active technical ability playstyle that the newer heroes have been showcasing and highlighting. Blaze Templar. No Blaze, man. I see you might be a little biased. Name's Blaze Templar. But yeah, he just came out. 2-week hold on all that. But yeah, I think we got everyone in here.
Excellent.
Casters ready here. I would say so. I know you guys are ready. I want to jump in.
I'm ready for some games, Lauren. That's what I'm ready for.
Well, without any further ado, Kyla, let me show you the way to Infernal Shrine.
So is it PrideStark on the left and
it is PrideStark Gaming on the left, TSM on the right.
Perfect.
TSM enjoy the luxury as a first pick, first ban, and they do not feel like having the beat get dropped.
Yeah.
So they're gonna ban out Lucio immediately.
Really strong hero, brings a lot of consistent healing over those shrine contests, and also helps his team control the rotation really well. So denying the Lucio, you know, it kind of funnels down the support pool a little bit because there are actually a lot less viable supports right now. You know, with the likes of Rhaegar kind of being gutted, you don't see a whole lot of him anymore. So banning off the Lucio, I kind of like this choice from TSM.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely shows how they want to play heroes. You can definitely muscle an enemy team out of a strong position. Lucio is one of those S tier heroes. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw a first pick Malfurion here. And it's like, oh, well, what support you gonna run with now, buddy? Might see some Stukov as a response or something like that. But there are really only, in my opinion, like 4 top tier supports. So taking one off the board right away is a shot across the bow.
Definitely with you on that one with the limited support pool. But PrideStark Gaming taking their time with their bans. Maybe they look off to take off a DPS or... Yeah, I was going to mention Greymane might have been a good option. I should have just said it. He's just an overall incredibly strong hero. And in the hands of any organized team, the likes of Greymane can completely shut down a comp. Or they could be showing that they want to build some high health pool heroes. You know, HeroesHype is host to those crazy Cho'Gall comps. And Greymane is one of those heroes to completely shut down Cho'Gall. Not saying that's what we're going to see, but yeah. With the ETC first picked up for TSM, very strong warrior, heavy engage, and counter engage potential. He also has the ability to flex into stage dive, which you know, allows his team to have a global on a map where soak is very important, as they are on most maps.
It can be game changing, especially with the 2018 changes that have come out recently. The ability to secure a tier advantage for your team and then jump in off the trampoline and engage that way afterwards definitely opens up some options. I think this is one of the stronger maps for Mosh Pit, but if he ends up being the only global, or they pick up like Brightwing or Dahak or something down the road, they can just play around their opponents and establish that macro game and win the game that way. So it's it's a first pick that has a lot of potential for different reasons. Yeah,
absolutely. Now, I wonder, you were mentioning earlier about Hanzo early picks. I wonder if we'll see something like that picked up for PrideStark Gaming. It also, like, playing Hanzo into a Greymane can be scary, especially seeing as how a lot of people have been going go for the throat. But there's the Stukov that you were mentioning, a very strong zone control hero and also just one of the best supports right now. And Arthas, it's an interesting time to pick the Arthas. Perhaps they just don't want to go up against the likes of like an Illidan or a heavy auto attack composition, or they just want somebody to be able to stand on points, and Arthas satisfies all of those conditions.
Yeah, It kind of makes the gray main bane something of a question mark for me, because if you're going to go for Arthas this early, Arthas is one of those heroes that really shuts down gray main. So it's like, were you really that worried about him? But we are going to see Alexstrasza. My prayers have been answered. And they're going to round it out with their third pick of Sonya. They're looking to bully, man. I like it.
Picking the Sonya into the Arthas can be a little bit scary, but Alexstrasza provides so much, again, zone control. I know I just said that PrideStark Gaming has that with the Stukov and the Arthas, but if Alexstrasza drops that dragon and you contest the point with it, chances are you have to get out of there. So I'm loving these pickups so far from TSM. They have a very, what is it, present composition so far with the Alex, Sonya, and ETC, something they can just push right up onto that shrine and capture it no problem. And of course, the laning potential of Sonya is there as well. So very strong pickup so far from DSM.
It's aggressive, it's upfront, it's in your face. My kind of Heroes of the Storm, Power Slide and a Spear. Wrath of the Berserker and Leap both have something to say here in my personal opinion. But you look at that, I would look to take either a range damage off the board. I think that would be the most solid choice here if you're on the side. PrideStark Gaming. They got 1 second to figure it out.
And they decided to take off the Gul'dan, which again is just fantastic on this map for controlling the shrines. I would expect something similar from TSM. They're hovering the Genji, which would be a pretty good pick. Genji can't do too much into what TSM has, so that lends to them picking a easier to kill backliner, though Alexstrasza, if caught off guard, doesn't really have a great way of healing herself up. So removing the Genji could specifically be for the Alexstrasza pickup as well.
What that says to me is that they just want to play this game straight up. I do think that they have the tools to deal with the Genji if they so chose. Yeah. But Genji is one of those X-Factor heroes where it's like, if you put him in the right hands, they're going to win the game no matter what. The right time, Dragon Blade, the cooldown resets on E. You can find out the hard way that the enemy team knows how to play that hero. So I think they just want to play it safe. They like their engagement. They look to be a very forward-leaning composition. They don't have to worry about their backline when they engage.
Now, PrideStark has an option to pick up a bunch of different heroes. Like they can flex their solo laner, but I don't know if they need to at this point. They pick up the Malthael, which is fantastic into this because of the heaviness of the ETC and Sonya. I was thinking a Malthael and a Hanzo would be good here, but they decided to go with the Kael'thas instead. Again, just so much zone control with that Tormented Souls, with the Phoenix, with the area damage of Kael'thas. Like, PrideStark Gaming see the bodies of TSM, and they just want to capitalize on that.
Absolutely. This is something that can be a foil for the early Alexstrasza pick. This is a hero whose support is heavily reliant on positioning, and it's easily telegraphed. It's going to be very simple for Kael'thas to just throw in a flame strike, get the chain bombs going at a critical moment, and it's going to make a squishier hero like Vala forced to decide if they want to go in there and hope that the net calculation is they're going to get healed, or do we want to stay away from the healing because we don't feel like getting roasted by Kael'thas. So I like that pick.
So we see the Vala. I did say that I anticipate TSM picking up a like a squishy backliner. So we do see the Vala coming in. Now, do we see a second support? I know that meta has kind of fallen out of favor, but we do see it with the Brightwing. So Malthael goes in, looks for his combination. Brightwing is a fantastic pickup against the Malthael because as soon as Malthael uses his W to teleport perhaps onto the backline, there's the Polymorph, there's the Emerald Wind, and then they have the response in the Sonya. Is that a Poison Spear on the Malthael? Is that an ETC slide? You know, like, these are all tools that can shut down Malthael so very well. I like the Brightwing. I'm not too sold on the double support at this point into what PrideStark has.
I'm liking to agree. I feel like the W build or some kind of wave clear from Vala is going to be important in this instance. They could definitely fall behind on that front. But in a lot of ways, I really like the Brightwing pick because it's kind of a judo move to this style of engagement from PrideStark Gaming. They don't have much mobility at all, like actually zero mobility outside, I guess, Malthael jumping from one side to the other. So that means to me, once they engage, they're in. So a hero like Brightwing that throw out that polymorph at the right moment, that means they're locked in. But we're going to see Hanzo show up as well.
See, I thought they were going to pick up the Hanzo earlier because Hanzo takes priority, I would say, a little bit over the Kael'thas, just because, you know, you can pick up a Kel'Thuzad, you can pick up a Jaina sort of to fill the spot of the Kael'thas, but nothing really fills that spot of the Shimada Warrior. So Yeah, Hanzo picked up. This is an exciting draft from PrideStark Gaming, and we both get what we wanted. We got the Hanzo, we got the Alexstrasza, so this is a hot game right here.
We get it all. I feel like they probably waited on the Hanzo because he is a newer hero. There are some questions about how he's going to fit in the meta from a competitive standpoint. Maybe they just wanted to look both ways before crossing the street and be like, do we want to take Hanzo into this? And they looked at the Brightwing and they're like, I guess we do. Like, we don't have to worry about Hanzo getting polymorphed in most instances. He's going to be poking from pretty far out. So I think that was where they were going with that. Who do you think came away with the stronger composition?
Personally, I like the playstyle of PrideStark Gaming's comp a bit better. If they have the execution, I think they can win the team fights. If TSM bring in their Brightwing on any of these frontline targets, that's a lurking arm right on top of her, and she's just caught out entirely. The likes of the Sonya and the ETC and the Alexstrasza that are going to want to be stacking up on the Shrine, Hanzo has an opportunity to just absolutely smash them with his W. So those scatter arrows can really start to add up with damage. I really like PrideStark Gaming's comp, and I'm going to have to give it to them on this one.
I can definitely see where you're coming from there. I feel like TSM has the safer composition.
Yeah.
But you're right. If the execution is going to be there from PrideStark Gaming, they could have a pretty good time. But here it is, the first HeroesHype Amateur Series game of 2018. On the left, we have PrideStark Gaming. Caleb Reese is on Arthas. Valamar's playing Hanzo. Moreno's going to be the spooky stepdad. Malthael. Elhan's on Stukov. And Eeks is going to be throwing the heat on Kael'thas.
And on the right in red, we got TSM. It's Maxorian on Vala. Vandragor on Alexstrasza. Warrior on ETC. No Miracle playing the Brightwing. And Ephemeral playing Sonya.
An interesting laning strategy here to start for TSM. The old 2-1-2.
Yeah,
not
I
looking
guess
for the
so.
level 1 team fight. Interesting.
No, you're right. I think that the pick potential from PrideStark Gaming is there, but their main engagement tool is that Howling Blast, and that can be pretty difficult to get off for picks. Looks like we got a pause here. So PrideStark Gaming is having a little bit of issues, but we'll be able to jump back in really quickly here.
Some of the level 1 talents were picked up, so we're going to see Frost Presence, a staple of a main take. Arthas, Fear the Reaper, activated for added movement speed. Growing Infestation, so they want the tickle to really stick in there. Mana Addict for Kael'thas, no Convection. Hot Pursuit, so looks like the Hyper Carry Vala is going to be looking to make use out of that positioning.
Yeah.
Live and Let Live, Prog Rock, a staple there as well. Hyper Shift, so we could see a Zed build.
There you go.
Yeah. See,
It's not bad. Yeah.
And then War Paint to round it out.
So yeah, the Hot Pursuit on Vala, like you said, it kind of shows that she's looking to go with that W build, so that does make sense. Now, Hanzo hasn't selected his talent yet, so I'm pretty excited to see what Hanzo decides to go with. Any thoughts on the talent path?
I mean, I think a number of players have made arguments for different builds. I know at the beginning the Q build was the hot, but there's definitely some argument for diversity there.
Yeah.
I really want to see how this game progresses though, because I'm looking for the relationship between Malthael and Polymorph.
Yep.
And Vala and Arthas' root. Because if Vala gets caught forward, it's going to be pretty rough.
And that's really going to be the story of this one. I think, during the team fights at least. So, as you said, the 2-1-2 for TSM. They're starting off this laning phase, just throwing their opponents off a little bit. So the members of PrideStark Gaming, they push in this mid lane and they decide between their rotations. It looks like they are going bottom, so TSM has to be careful of that.
Conservative decision making. They're not trying to lose out too early in their level 1 team fight. Even though they have power slide and things like that to engage, they just want to play it safe. I think it kind of speaks to how they want to play this game. Hanzo did land on Redemption.
Yep. And I think that's pretty safe because Hanzo can actually step up and auto attack a lot of this front line of TSM as long as there's minions, which is probably going to be the skeletal defenders in the way. Sonya can't really land the poison spear onto Hanzo if he plays it properly. So both these teams electing to go for their bruiser camps right now. These will both be pushing the top lane. Both of them doing the exact same thing, completely abandoning this mid lane. So it's pretty funny here. But yeah, as you can see, strategies have changed because of the strength of camps.
The meta, she is ever evolving. The 2018 changes have inspired a pretty unique way to play with the camp showing up in the first minute. The first objective is going to be in the top lane. So it's a little surprising to me for a couple of reasons that they would go for the bruiser camps this early, since they're going to be up there anyway. But I guess if they try to get the advantage, but the root goes into the gravity lapse. Maxorian hits the ball, tries to get out of there. Less than half health, is able to escape.
Has the stacks from her passive, so she was able to walk away from that. The KT damage wasn't enough to secure the kill onto Vala, but at the same time, I love the fact that TSM saw Arthas floating around mid looking at that soak, and they decide to rush the bottom siege camp. So technically speaking, TSM come out on top, and look at this top push with the Sonya and the Brightwing. There's absolutely nothing that Malthael can do right now.
Yeah, you can casually watch. Ephemeral and No Miracle took care of the Bruiser camp, and they're looking to go through the top wall and a little bit more from the looks of it. Ephemeral may have overstayed his welcome, though. Vereno's going to go out there, go for the chase, get the last auto attack, and it should be enough. Sonya waits to respawn. First blood.
Let's die alone for this Malthael, but he's caught in a little bit of trouble here. But now the likes of Kael'thas and Malthael will escape this top side as they de-push. And meanwhile, bottom, PrideStark Gaming clearing the wave. They catch that bottom siege camp as well. So now they're going to be picking up their siege camp to push middle lane while the top shrine spawns.
I think we saw some of that team fight prowess from PrideStark Gaming. Got 2 takedowns. Vala was dropped as well. Shrine activates as the siege camp gets picked up for the team in blue. How do they play this? Do they rotate up? Or do they try to get some kind of macro pressure going?
I like the fact that they cleared out mid like this, so they are putting pressure on TSM in this mid lane. It is going to take some structures if left uncontested, but at the same time, Ephemeral is taking her siege camp as well on the Sonya. But PrideStark Gaming now positioning topside. I anticipate them to try to take this lane in their favor right now, push it out with the Hanzo if they're able to. But Vala is there contesting the lane as well. Both these teams now just trying to get the wave pressure on the top side of the map.
Absolutely. Both teams level 6, but level 7 could be here first for PrideStark Gaming at this rate. War's going to walk in there. The root drops and misses. Could see a potential power slide engagement there afterwards. He hits the mountain. He's like, nah, I'm not going to stick too close to ETC. No thanks.
That was PrideStark Gaming's moment to engage. Sonya was showing on the mid wave, so it was a guaranteed 5v4. There's the Howling Blast and the follow-up stun onto Vandragor, but no further damage. Valabar in a lot of trouble now and caught out, and down goes Hanzo for first blood.
Moreno tried to get the return response on the Maxorian, but the support from Alex Strauza and Brightwing is gonna be there. Hanzo got a little too close to the flame and gets cooked. Not too shabby.
There's the strength of that dragon on these points, on these objectives where both teams need to capture a single spot. Alex Strauza can simply pop her passive and just stand on point and win team fights, as we just saw there. So obviously the Hanzo was caught out a little bit, but and is this another catch up? The ETC side goes on to Malthael, and that's another kill off of the polymorph.
I was saying TSM might be the more conservative team, but they spotted Malthael out of position for half a second. The power slide and polymorph was there. And textbook punishment by any stretch of the imagination or definition paves the way for the first punisher of the game for TSM.
Yeah, and PrideStark are standing top, but they look a little bit scared. Look at this ETC in the wing. He's making the slide.
And we got the pause. Connected spear. Pause, by the way.
Yeah. Dude, I love that. And we got the pause.
Oh, you know TSM is ready to go, man. They had that engagement perfectly timed. Yeah. Middle of jump. Feels bad. Hey, man, John Cena's, man, it's that stun. ETC is going to be there to follow up. Yeah. That's going to be something that PrideStark Gaming has to be really concerned about.
Now, you did... Oh, sorry about that?
No, go ahead.
You did comment on the burden of execution being on TSM's side. And I think that's what we saw up here, right? Like, one misplay by PrideStark Gaming results in the loss of a fight. TSM were able to push out that top wave and collapse onto the Hanzo, and he really had no way of escaping. There was that top side wall for his teammates, but Hanzo's disengage is very unreliable. So we did see that those kills going over to TSM and the first objective. So really nice play by them.
Yeah, your positioning has to be masterful to get the most value out of Hanzo's natural agility. Wasn't able to work out for him earlier, but it's going to be the top 4 and over half health still on his Punisher. Do we see TSM look to push this lane further? I think they start to back out.
For them to try to take mid structures instead, pushing this mid wave, take these mid towers. Sonya is now on the mid with that poison spear damage running. I think this is a much better play.
Yeah, they're just going to try to open up the map in other areas and get that level lead, try to get the level 10 sooner rather than later. Sound response, the power slide is going to juke the gravity lapse. So they get out pretty clean, man. That was nicely done by TSM.
TSM also had the option to just send Brightwing top, play really safe, and then rotate all down with this camp and look to take out another tower. As long as ETC was waiting there for the rotation and made sure that PrideStark couldn't get onto TSM, I think TSM could have taken another tower here and possibly pushed in 10 with their camp and taken bottom fort, but instead they make the rotation top, forcing PrideStark Gaming bottom, and they take away their hard camp. So also a good denial of resources there on the side of TSM.
I really like their macro decisions. They're showing up all around the map. And right now, Kyle, it feels like PrideStark are 100% playing TSM's game. Level 10 is going to be right around the corner here and is picked up as the Bruiser camp gets stolen away. Brana rotates up top, but it's too late, buddy. Bible thump.
So the pickup of explosive arrows for Hanzo, I'm not sure if this is the right call for Hanzo, just because of, like, it does do good damage on shrine control, but I feel like TSM are going to be able to walk onto the shrines much easier than PrideStark Gaming. I would have liked to see a higher emphasis on his W talents to see if he could chunk out that front line of TSM. But nonetheless, that level 4 talent is going to be doing some area damage to the shrine. So look at Caleb Reese. Is he in trouble? Or is it Vandrick? Who's in trouble here?
I'm not too sure. That's a heavy engagement from both sides. The root misses, Mosh Pit goes out, gets interrupted almost immediately by the Bo Jackson stiff arm. And then War is going to pay for the team sins and wait over to the left. Embraces PrideStark Gaming for that hug, and that's the third takedown for the team.
That was a very confusing engage. It looked like TSM wanted that, but Sonya was still mid and catching the camp, so it's like, it was maybe a little bit of indecision now. Look at this engagement by PrideStark Gaming. They might find Vandragor here.
They got the numbers advantage. Why not play it aggressively? The Stuke off Tickle's going to be enough to close out Alex Straza. And they're like, hey, you want to steal our Bruiser camp? We gotta do that as well. And then there's the stiff arm. Elheim secures the Bruiser camp. And they might be looking to go, but oh no.
Watch this ETC on the bottom side of this fight. No heroic available, but the slide does land on a Kael'thas, and now he's in a little bit of trouble. There's the Poison Spear and the Polymorph to follow up, and that is an explosive combination. We're now in a lot of trouble, and he goes down, but the trade kill onto Arthas is there.
They're playing that new hero brawler. Heroes dropping on both sides. That Poison Spear came in the hard way, Kala. Got his posted stamped. 3 heroes down on one side. ETC gets taken down. He's gonna wait to respawn as the next shrine activates. Both of these teams, man, this is my kind of heroes. I love these heavy team fights.
Hey, I promised you an explosive meta, did I not? And this is exactly what's happening. Even though like this meta is very snowbally, I am in love with it, especially from a casting perspective. This is fantastic. So, as we mentioned, TSM do have a little bit of the shrine control here. Malthael is stepping up a little bit, but not sure if he's allowed to do that at this point. Emerald Wind just coming off his cooldown, and ETC's heroic Mosh Pit up in 10 seconds as well. There's the engage.
Power Slide goes in. Marino's low on health. There's the Emerald Wind, gonna displace the members of PrideStark Gaming. Caleb Reese finds himself immediately on an island, but actually his ball gonna be taken down first. Caleb Reese is forever at the moment, and somehow escapes certain death. And with the 13 tier being down a member, this is still PrideStark's objective in a lot of ways.
TSM had 10 more seconds to wait until that mosh pit was up with all of their members, so I do feel like that was a little bit of a premature engagement, especially considering how they already had top pushing out, so they had the pressure there, and the numbers from PrideStark Gaming in terms of skeletal defenders just wasn't at a point where TSM really needed a hard engage like that, so slight misplay there by the members of TSM, but nonetheless, top push for them, mid push for them, and PrideStark Gaming, they actually leave it at 39, and they pick up the bottom siege camp to just complement this push with their Punisher.
You make a really good point, though. I mean, if there was a little bit more patience expressed by TSM, they could have had their tier advantage. But they got eager. The power slide goes in. Elheim finds himself at less than half health. The polymorph goes in, and the Russian support is blown up. They said we're not done just yet, but with only one defender, I think they're just kind of getting what they can out of this. Caleb Reese goes in. Eeks could be potentially caught out of position. There's the Rain of Vengeance on the fireman.
The rain was perfect with all the follow-up CC from TSM. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where if you take something from your opponents as good as TSM, like you win the objective, just take the objective. Let's just take it entirely. They left it at one skeletal defender, and it bit them in the bum on that one. So, still goes over for everything, but they don't have the numbers up to push with it.
Those takedowns definitely going to make this an easy defense for the members of TSM. They found their delete key, Kala. Anytime somebody on the squishy side gets caught out of position, that power slide is going to be there. That poison spear is going to be there. We were worried about what kind of value they can get out of that level 7 talent during the objective phase, and Sonya's like, watch me move.
That's absolutely right. And now the timer is put on PrideStark Gaming. Look at this experience bar for TSM. They are closing in on the level 16 mark. And if RNG is against their favor, then this next shrine is going to be spawning before PrideStark Gaming has an opportunity at getting level 16 themselves, which could potentially leave in a like completely giving up the objective. So that's not what PrideStark wants. They're going to be looking for a fight against TSM. Well, at least they should be before 16 comes in.
I agree. They need to make this happen before they're staring down the barrel of yet another tier disadvantage. Brightwing has been getting all kinds of value for split soak, and they have the presence of mind to not show themselves on the map and passively soak, so there's no heavy engagement there. Kyle, these teams are learning how to play this game at a high level.
Absolutely. Emerald Wind is available too, so she's not too scared, unless the what do you call it? No, that's the stretch arm, the lurking arm from
oh, the Bo Jackson stiff arm?
There, that it is. Yeah, that's it. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. But yes, you're wild. But yeah, unless Stukov shows up with that silence, Brightwing is gonna have a great time escaping with the Emerald Wind. But yeah, she decides to just back off anyways, which I do think is the smarter choice.
I agree. Level 16 proving to be quite the power spike for TSM. Manticore, the talent of choice for Vala. That's going to raise the brow of Arthas every time he steps in. A little bit of armor from Alex Strasser by way of tough love. I like that. And the Critterize. I thought we might see the greater polymorph, but no, they want that armor reduction. They want that delete key. I like it.
Like I was saying, when Malthael goes in, if they get that, if they get the polymorph plus the combination from Vala and Sonya, somebody is going to die.
Somebody's going home. They're getting that express ticket. The defense is on for the middle fort. I don't think that PrideStark need to go too hard at this being down a talent tier, but the heroic goes out from Hanzo. That's a costly resource that netted 0 value.
70-second cooldown, and unfortunately they couldn't find a pick off of it. And now TSM, as we mentioned, hit 16 talent tier, so PrideStark Gaming are still just trying to find this experience that they desperately need.
They find themselves continuing to chase the experience. That Brightwing is getting all types of value, but they're holding for now. They should be level 16 by the time this next objective phase shows up. They've been able to do it. But we do see TSM Ephemeral down in the bot lane getting that siege camp. If it's left to its own devices, that could do a good amount of damage to that bottom fort. I like the macro decisions being made here by both teams in their positions.
Yeah, they'll be able to pick 16 up off of this mid wave, but TSM already have the positional advantage over this shrine by the looks of it. They have bottom pushed out. They're about to get this middle pushed out as well, so they should be able to get on the shrine with relative ease, and then they have the dragon, but looks like there's a small engagement here on the bottom side.
Caleb Reese is eating all kinds of damage, but so is ETC, who gets rocked, and Moshpit was not available. Emerald Wing goes out to save No Miracles Bacon for the moment. Verino's going to chase down Maxorian in the long range from downtown. Arrow pegs Maxorian in the back of the face. The roof is there to follow up, but no takedown so far. Only steaks for dinner in his team play.
It was a very interesting engagement. I would have liked to see TSM just try to disengage from that fight, but both of those warriors just kind of like fizzled into each other in that choke point, and PrideStark Gaming definitely take the advantage, but Caleb Reese is a little bit caught out. The follow-up damage from Vala was almost there, but no pickup for them. But still, positional advantage is for TSM, and they're going to be able to get onto this shrine pretty quickly, but there's the stun from Kael'thas onto Vandragor, and nothing further from that one. But this TSM, they've got the positioning, they got the Dragon Queen ready. It's going to be a scary thing to push into.
Maxorian is definitely doing damage to this artist. Anytime he steps in there, they don't get the immediate takedown and force out a defensive posture. Vala's going to be shredding that health bar. Definitely got to watch out for that. Eats is out in the flank looking to see if he can get some kind of AoE damage opportunity. ETC back to business. Brightwing's going to teleport in. There's the flame strike. There's the power slide. Mosh Pit is available, but they isolate Caleb Reese. Gets a good amount of damage, and they want the one-person Mosh Pit, and it's enough. The first takedown in his team play.
One person Mosh is perfectly fine. Ephemeral is now out of the fight a little bit. Warrior looking for a little bit more, and Elheim gets caught out too. Vandragor had previously popped the Dragon Queen, just keeping her team alive. And Valimar, one more auto attack to go down, but walks into the bush, completely outplayed. Verino now trying to do damage onto Warrior. He's got a little bit of chase potential. The die alone is doing so much damage, and down goes ETC. The Hanzo play is incredible.
These teams are at each other's throats right now. Valimar making good use of the vision. Vereno comes in there and says, "Surprise, mother," and just totally blows up. I know they weren't expecting all of that, but the Mortar Punisher is going to get picked up. He's going to jump in there and look to rock and roll, but no one on the side of TSM are really here to take advantage. Either way, it should be the middle court.
Holy, I've been drinking Mountain Dew all day. That play was actually sweet. Hanzo walks into the bush and denies that last auto attack from Vala, and she just wanted to walk in and do any ability damage possible, but she couldn't find it. That turnaround stun was brilliant.
Caleb Reese almost found the Brightwing for their trouble, but the Hearth is going to be in there to secure the second support's escape. Colin, one thing that I'm seeing here from this game is both of these teams, they know macro decisions and they know micro level play. Stepping into that bush at that immediate moment to deny that auto attack was the difference between Hanzo waiting to respawn or not. I'm loving this kind of play we're seeing.
Me too. PrideStark Gaming, though, I want to see them take something from the map. The fact that TSM is just allowed to freely walk up to these camps and push these lanes while Brightwing was, or while they had one member down, is not the best thing to do when you have a numbers advantage. And TSM is looking to get to level 20 quicker, much quicker. They're about to hit it right now. So PrideStark Gaming denying this camp is perfect. I just wish they did this a little bit earlier. Try to take more off the map.
I can definitely agree with that because the story of this game so far has been, well, PrideStark is about to be down a talent tier. Yep. And if you look at the structures, they haven't even dropped a fort yet. It's 9 takedowns to 10. As far as the, playing that hero brawler, they're doing pretty well, all things considered. But you got to take down the core to win this game. And they are nowhere near close to that right now.
You're absolutely right. And now look at all of the resources that PrideStark Gaming just spent the past minute taking. Their hard camp, the enemy hard camp, now just gets free cleared by a single Brightwing. While TSM takes control of this mid lane, they're going to be probably taking control of the enemy siege camp right now. Yep, ETC is walking in. So TSM got everything they wanted over this past minute and a half.
Yeah, the way No Miracle's playing Brightwing, it's like, go ahead, take the Bruiser camp. Push the lane closer to me so I can soak safely and get to level 20 that much faster. Thanks so much, buddy. Now we could potentially see TSM look to be aggressive. This is a team that's shown both passive and aggressive play. They're looking to invade potentially. Brightwing could always teleport in. Caleb Reese positioning himself well, being that ward. Gets the power slide though. They go in. The root goes in. There's Brightwing. The mosh pit goes in as well.
Brightwing was interrupted though.
Oh no.
Was she? No, it's just like, it was just an interrupt, so it's up again in a few moments here. Continuous wins is available, but the mosh pit gone, the cleansing flame gone, so those are two pretty big heroics taken away from TSM when they had their 20 advantage, so really nice job by PrideStark.
Absolutely. If you're PrideStark Gaming, seeing those two heroes get used there and you don't lose any heroes at it, that's a feels good, man, by any stretch of the imagination. L-line down bottom. Valamar's going to go ahead and jump over. Doesn't feel like getting polymorph. This team fight turn. Angelo not too far away either. Power slide goes out. Caleb Reese again finds himself at the top of the conversation. Brightwing jumps in, hits that polymorph, lowers the armor, but Arthas is going to be able to get behind the keep wall.
Quick Iceborne Fortitude is enough to just walk away for the likes of Arthas, but that's not going to be available for another 35 seconds. Probably down to more like 25 at this point. So now PrideStark Gaming just trying to desperately close this experience gap, and I do believe they're going to find it before TSM hit that 40 skeletal defenders topside. And PrideStark Gaming knows that Mosh Pit is down. This is a huge moment for PrideStark Gaming.
Absolutely. In a lot of ways, Kyle, this is going to be make or break even tier, storm tier advantage without some of those big time heroics on the board for TSM. There's the teleport. Ephemeral gets put out of position for the moment. Polymorph goes out. Heroic was used by Marino, getting that's absolutely no value though. Arthas is trying to serve as that front wall. Eats finds himself the recipient of War's attention. He's gonna be able to back away. ETC ate a boatload of damage as well, and so far, Kyle, TSM have been holding.
And PrideStark just got exactly what they wanted out of that engagement. Yes, they used the Tormented Souls, but no more Emerald wins, no more continuous wins. The Polymorph and the stun's going to Malthael, and he goes down. I spoke a little bit too quickly.
A habitual line stepper appears to be Farino. Anytime he's caught forward alone by any means on Malthael, the power slide's there. The polymorph is there. Critterize is going to lower his armor by 25%. Puts a smile on Vala's face. They are dumpstering anyone out of position. I'm loving this aggressive play.
So Malthael decides to pop the No One Can Stop Death because he anticipates this being the last push of the game. TSM posturing up for the win. Mosh Pit is available, so they have to pay attention to that.
They're going to have to play this one pretty much picture perfect if they want to try to keep this game alive one way or the other, Kyle. I do think this top keep is going to go down. Ephemeral's eating a lot of damage, gets the armor increase. There's the heroics from Alexstrasza, raining fire from above. but they're turning their eyes towards this core. Could this be the end of the first game of the night?
And this is a Sonya double support and a Vala on the core. I do not think that PrideStark Gaming have the likes to stop this damage. It's just too substantial, and Mosh Pit is there as well. So TSM close out the first game of the year in a pretty convincing victory.
Convincing is definitely the word there. Props to them. Excellently played by both teams, but TSM are going to be able to defeat PrideStark Gaming and move further in the HeroesHype Amateur Series number 93. It just seemed like they were able to play around their opponents better. They got value out of Bright Wing. They consistently had a tier advantage. And PrideStark just found themselves in moments where they only had, what, 30 seconds tops to try to get a team fight before they were at a significant disadvantage. It was a struggle for them all the way around, man.
Yeah, for me, it really sold it when PrideStark Gaming showed their reluctance to just dominate the map from the beginning. You know, it showed that when we were looking at the rotation in the mid there, it looked like they weren't sure where to go. TSM, right out of the gates, 2-on-2. They don't care about anything. They're like, we're going to get this 2-on-2. We're going to push out top lane faster than PrideStark, so they have to send a resource top, and then we're immediately on our hards. Off that, we're immediately pushing bottom and getting on bottom siege camp. At like the first minute into the game, you know, TSM had both these camps rolling, and PrideStark are like, oh, okay, I guess we're playing reactively from the first minute with a comp that they don't want to do that with. So TSM definitely had the stronger game plan moving into that. And I also felt like their execution in some of those fights were fantastic. You know, there was the Emerald Wind, the Polymorph, the Poison Spear on top of the Malthael. Like, they blew him up in multiple occasions. So really nice play there. So yeah, I have to say TSM just played that one a lot better, and they showed the strong emphasis on camps that game and lane control that game. Something that I said previously before HeroesHype started, that the teams that do this are the teams that are going to be successful because of the recent changes to the game.
Absolutely. I mean, TSM is making an argument that they could definitely be a team to watch out for in the open division. Again, thanks to PrideStark Gaming for showing up. One heck of a show. I was actually really impressed by TSM when they first started the game and had like that AI lane matchup, like the 2-1-2. I was a little concerned, but they definitely showed that they know how to be aggressive. Like you said, anytime Malthael was even close to being out of position, Power Slide was there, the follow-up was there. He was gone. Yeah, I really like seeing that kind of play. But the next game we've heard from our good old-fashioned Argy. NA LOL will be taking on TSM. Kyle, I don't know if you had the pleasure of seeing NA LOL in action yet, but this is a very aggressive and strong team. I had a chance to speak with their captain towards the end of last year, and they're like, we just like to play comps that are just in your face. We just go aggressive no matter what. And
I thought for a second you were making a joke about my team.
What? No.
What? I thought you were making a joke. Curtis, I'm not sure if you've had an opportunity to see NA LOL in person. I was like, I've seen it in person, man. I've seen NA LOL. Yeah, and I was like, wait, is he? No, okay, maybe I just memed myself. Oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed.
You kind of did, but it's okay. Okay.
40 and I'll never forget.
But no, NA LOL, they are no joke. They are a very aggressive team. They play, I like to call it NBA Jam Heroes, where it's that new hero brawler that came out. Kyle, it's called Hero Storm.
Good game.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, you definitely should. NA LOL, they're going to show you how to play. It's going to be good.
Let's go. I'm excited. Are there names on that team that I would recognize, perhaps?
Well, let's go over to the tournament and check it out.
Wait, is there a link? Am I crazy? I gotta grab it.
I got you. So here you go.
Oh, you bring me great honor.
I tried it.
That was an awesome game. Okay, that was actually an awesome game.
That was game one.
Yeah.
Of the night, the first game of 2018 for HeroesHype. Not too shabby. On NA LOL, we got Zergling, Mitchie D's, Dan Clan, Pumpkin Slayer, and Sirius.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right on. Yep. Some names.
Definitely players we've seen around quite a bit. I'm really curious to see this matchup. We saw a team, TSM, who showed that they know how to play passively and they know how to play aggressively. They're going to be going up against a team. Kyle, NA LOL, I've seen them take team fights down a tier. It's just like, they have no reason to go on the other side of the map. They shouldn't do it. And they actually end up catching their opponents off guard. And it's like, well, you shouldn't be here. But
Wait,
here
are you
we are.
saying that comparatively, we're going to see some faster, some stronger Heroes of the Storm? Is that what you're telling me?
Wait, is
Maybe.
this a Daft Punk reference? Is this?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Harder, better, faster. I don't know.
Oh, I was just looking at the bracket there. I don't know if they knew Dewey. Do you know Dewey went down against Red? So
They did?
yeah.
But they were supposed to know their way.
I know. I know it's a tragedy. No, I'm just joking. The deserving team won, of course. Yeah.
All right, well. They got my attention, TMG Red, because like I said, do you know the way? Had the Ebros, it was a high caliber roster. TMG to get an upset in round one. But that says to me, Kyle, is that we are in for an exciting night.
As we usually are with HeroesHype. If this is your guys' first time here, thanks for being here. Casting some amateur games with the HeroesHype Amateur Series, and man, they have been explosive so far. Seeing how this meta works with the amateur teams is really exciting. So really fast-paced games. We saw Alex Straza and Hanzo last game, two newer heroes, of course. And was that the first game that you've seen Alex Straza in, like casting-wise?
Yeah, actually it is.
What do you think about her?
I thought she did well. I don't know. She was most impactful, I feel, early game with the Dragon. Maybe there was just so much excitement and things going on towards the end of the game. At no point I was like, wow, Alex Straza just made a play that was a difference maker in a team fight. Yeah, the support was there. The positioning was there, sure. But Alex Straza wasn't breaking a mosh pit out.
That's true.
You know what I mean? There wasn't like this, oh, Alex Straza just like changed the game in this moment.
Yeah.
They just kind of did their job. I'm a little surprised.
I'm not even, did she even die once that game?
I already left, so I can't confirm or deny.
Wait, I'm pretty sure if PrideStark went with like a different build on their Hanzo too, they would have seen a lot more value out of him. But you know, it might just be the way that Hanzo player is used to playing. But I swear, like, I don't know. I really feel like PD. Wait, I don't even know. I feel like that comp could have done a little bit better under those circumstances. But man, TSM, the way that they controlled the map was actually really, really fantastic to see from an amateur team.
Well, I feel like in a lot of ways, PrideStark had a narrower margin for success in a team fight. If Arthas got the right route and caught like a Vala out of position, the damage is going to be there. They're going to go home. But if the route misses, to me, that emboldens TSM because like, all right, I know I can play up for the next few seconds if I'm Vala because I'm not going to get stuck. Whereas if you're going against TSM, it's like power slide's pretty simple to land. It's kind of point click. And once that happens, Polymorph is going to be there right afterwards. So there's just more opportunity to blow someone up or at least force them to try to back away because they got like 40% health left or something like that. Yeah. It was easier to do that with TSM's comp than PrideStark's, in my opinion.
And Malthael never really got the opportunity to play any sort of solo lane style, you know? Like, he went a solo build, which was die alone, something that you want to be able to split off with and get a 1v1 with, but against that 2-1-2, like, he literally never got that option, except for on that one kill top. We saw a little bit of damage coming out from the die alone, but yeah, like, all of the variables for PrideStark just weren't there for them to be successful, I guess, and just the way that the game rolled out.
Ironically enough, the die alone talent was just him being out of position alone.
All right.
But moving on to the next game, we heard from our good old-fashioned Argy. TSM have taken Tomb of the Spider Queen off the board. In a lull, do not feel like playing Rock'em Sock'em Robots. They banned Volskaya.
Okay.
And again, good old-fashioned Argy. They just don't make him like that anymore. Here he goes. Holding out. Adding to the drama, suspense, and excitement.
Argy is typing.
Is he?
Who knows?
He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing right now. This is the guy that was... He just slides into Ginger Dread and Zebo as a Skype avatar and offers up no warning No warning.
That should be a felony against you, you know?
Yeah. It's not cool, man. It's a party foul, bro. But I'm curious to see where they go. Infernal Shrines definitely seems to be a map that plays the TSM strengths. I think they would actually do really well on a map like Dragonshire. They showed the macro pros to probably do work on Cursed Hollow. They seem to really prefer those shot calling. We're just gonna play around our opponent and win the macro game type of thing.
You want to know what I'll honestly be, or what I'm honestly surprised about is the fact that the first game we saw was a double support game. That's what I'm actually surprised about that. I didn't expect it to come out first game. I don't expect it to come out frequently, but maybe we will because of the ease of use that you were commenting on.
Well, I think in this instance, Kyle, it came out in the right way.
Yeah.
Right when it came out at the back end of the draft, where it was identified how PrideStark was going to be successful. Malthael gets in on the back line after initial engagement, pops his R key, everyone gets melted down. When you see that, it's like, all right, Polymorph is a really strong choice here. We can also get value out of the global pressure that Brightwing brings to the table. We saw that was instrumental to their ability to get a tier advantage. It wasn't just like in our 1-2, we're taking 2 supports because lol.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
like beforehand. A few minutes ago.
And Argy, see, Argy. That's what I'm talking about, man. He posts a picture of Ginger Dread and Zebo, and he tenders no warning.